Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle podcast coming up next. We will be discussing Canelo versus Crawford, giving it that review. Coming up next.
Following podcast scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, they are the Internet Podcast.
We are back. Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle podcast in Cypher 1 S got bars Wrestling Media and the dynamic salute Dark Wing Dub. Now, before we get started, real quick, because this right here is going to be the dynamic one's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? I know where my lane is at. You know, I know boxing, but I do not know boxing. This man to my right knows boxing, and he is going to be taking off with this right here. So anytime that we have these segments with boxing or football, your man of the hour is going to be your boy, Dark Wing Dub. You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about it, bro.
Well, first things first, I want to make it known that you said it. I am a boxing guy. Boxing was my first love. Wrestling came along, football, basketball, so on and so forth, all came along after boxing. And I want to preface this by saying my favorite boxer of all time is Evander Holyfield. Now, I'm still mad at Mike Tyson for biting my man's ear.
Yeah, I think that whole ear biting thing definitely is in remembrance for a lot of fans for the rest of their lives, for sure. But yeah.
Yeah, I was a bit salty about that. But anyways, so to the match that we're talking about, right? So Canelo Crawford. A lot of people were underestimating my boy Crawford. They were saying he's too small for Canelo. His power isn't going to carry over to be in a up 3 weight classes. They're saying he won't be able to carry his weight. I think he proved a lot of people wrong. He put on a boxing clinic. I mean, even Canelo, since this fight, mind you, we're talking about this a week later, letting the dust settle a little bit, had some time to think about it. Even Canelo has come out and said he gave his best and he could not figure Crawford out. You talking about I don't want to be caught up in the moment. Hold on. I don't want to be caught up in the moment. But there's a lot of people, a lot of boxers like Andre Ward have come out and said that he's on the Mount Rushmore now. He's on the Mount Rushmore now. I don't know if I'd go that far because there's so many. But I think this solidifies Crawford as one of the greatest of all time. From his defense, from his in-ring IQ, just from a boxing standpoint, this put Crawford as one of the GOATs of boxing. The school that he took Canelo to, listen, people want to keep talking about Mayweather and Canelo when Canelo was fairly new to the game, right? And Mayweather was this old veteran just taking on the young buck, giving the young buck a shot. And he schooled Canelo. Well, at that point, you're supposed to school the young buck. You know what I mean? That's what you do as the old man going into a match with a young buck. But these two right here, let me tell you something. Crawford's 38, Canelo's 35. Ain't that much difference in age. Canelo has more matches. Like they were talking about it. Canelo is an old man from a boxing standpoint because he's boxed, I believe, over 700 rounds to Crawford's like 300 rounds. Yeah. So in boxing standards, Canelo's an old man. But Crawford came out, did his thing. He took Canelo to school. Like we've never seen Canelo taken to school before. Like everybody sees the meme now where Crawford then caught him and Canelo turns his head like, what the heck did this dude just hit me with? I'm just saying. Just saying, bro. Go ahead.
You know what's so crazy about this, right? Is that Crawford came in as the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
He came in as the underdog. He wasn't supposed to win this fight. In fact, just like you said, they stated that Canelo will be too much for this guy. They said he would be too much. Now, mind you, me per se, like watching this from a standpoint where, like, I've watched boxing, but you know, I don't have the boxing knowledge like you would have. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, I can you know, read a few things here and there, and I can see, you know, but I don't have the boxing knowledge as you, so I wouldn't be able to analyze it as you did. But what I was able to analyze was Crawford definitely wasn't the underdog in this fight at all. And another thing, too, for anybody that's saying that Crawford ran in this fight, you are sadly mistaken. You are sadly mistaken.
I was
Because
going to talk about that next, bro.
yeah, because he exchanged with this man every single occasion when it was necessary. Like, you guys got to understand the science when it comes to boxing. Although you're supposed to hit one another, but you ain't supposed to be standing up in there and trying to get your head knocked off. I don't know why people seem to think that in a boxing match, you're supposed to get your head knocked off. No, you're not. One person is supposed to be technically sound, more sound than the other, which means that somebody's going to get knocked out eventually, but the other person is going to show their poise as far as dodging punches. So it's the person that gets hit the most. You understand what I'm saying? The reason why Mayweather beat Canelo is because he technically outboxed Canelo. He hit Canelo more times than Canelo hit him. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't, you know, dance around the ring a few times. I'm not saying that. To his right, he is the older fighter in this fight. So to his right, yes. If I'm like hitting 40, Canelo's in his 20s, I'm not trying to get hit by a 20-year-old. So yes, I am going to move around the ring. I'm going to dance around the ring. That's to his, you know, right. On top of that, defensively, he put on a clinic as well. Now, in this fight, okay, Crawford not only put on a clinic defensively, he put on a clinic offensively. He gave you all dimensions in this one fight. All dimensions. He gave you a defensive clinic, he gave you an offensive clinic, and then he gave you a little bit of in between. because he definitely exchanged with Canelo, which means he ain't afraid to take a punch. He can move around and he can hit you back just as hard, if not harder. And that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. So I don't understand where all this, like, all these theories come along that Crawford couldn't take Canelo because he not only took Canelo, he took him out. And I feel like if the fight was like at least another round or two longer, he probably would have knocked Canelo out. Let's just be for real. He probably would have put him on his ass. And I'm not taking nothing away from Canelo because Canelo is an outstanding fighter. He's a Hall of Famer. Hands down, he's one of the greatest, right? But what I'm saying is that Canelo did not have an answer for Crawford. No answer. He said it himself. And on top of that, he showed frustration throughout the fight. He started showing frustration in that fourth round. The fourth round is when you started seeing him get frustrated because usually by the fourth round, Canelo has you figured out and he starts pouncing on you. And he couldn't do that with Crawford. He could not do that with Crawford. And he started getting frustrated. You see him trying to pick Crawford up. Listen, Canelo, this ain't WWE. We're not watching wrestling, okay? You over here trying to Arn Anderson spine buster slam Crawford. That ain't gonna work. You need to take that over to Ric Flair and Four Horsemen people, okay? You know what I'm saying? But all jokes aside, I'm just saying, like, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Go ahead, bro.
So I want to talk about this whole Crawford rant stuff. So number one, I think the problem with people talking like that is I think UFC and MMA has these people spoiled.
Right.
Because they're used to seeing all the blood and the gore and the guts and everybody getting knocked out one way or another. Well, the object of boxing is to hit and not get hit.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
do you think these people wanted to get hit by Mike Tyson? No.
Mm-mm. That's
Do
the
you
last
think
person want to get hit by.
do you think Errol Spence wanted to go out the way he did against Crawford?
Yeah.
No, he could not avoid it. He could not avoid the punches, whereas Crawford could. Crawford is one of the greatest defensive boxers of all time. The object of boxing is to hit and not get hit. It's not running. There's actually, what did you call it earlier? The sweet science. Boxing has always been known as the sweet science because there's more to it than just kicking somebody, taking them down, ground and pound and stuff like that. No, you have one object, you're hitting them to the face or to the body. That's all you can do. If I can parry, avoid, if I can do any of that to not get hit, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? MMA has spoiled people from seeing all the gore. So now when they watch boxing and they see a great defender like Terrence Crawford not get hit, they automatically assume it's running. No. No.
It's not
It's
running.
defense. It's like basketball. It's like football. Defense. Defense is the name of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with you. Like, defense is important in boxing because at the end of the day, nobody is trying to get their head knocked off to the point where they're not going to be able to recognize their kids. You know what I'm saying? They both want to go home to their families. You people got to understand. Although it's exciting to see people exchange punches and try to wallop one another, but at the end of the day, like, the key to it is not get hit. And I feel like you definitely seen shades of different fighters within Crawford in that fight. You seen Crawford use the Philly shell a few times.
Mm-hmm.
You seen him move around the ring like Ali, and then you seen him exchange like a Mike Tyson would. What else did you want from the man? You know what I'm
I mean,
saying?
he used that. That's why I said his boxing IQ is, man, it is so high because like we started out the show with. People said that he was too small. People say he wouldn't be able to handle the extra weight that he's carrying. People say he wouldn't be able to stand there and box with Canelo because he's too big. And then he goes out there and shuts everybody up. So now what everybody's trying to do is come up with a reason as to why Crawford runs because he ran. Like, no, no. Just admit it. Your boy Canelo done already admitted he was outclassed. That's all there is to it. He was outclassed. And to the people out there that say he was running, you want to go watch somebody run? I can pull up several UFC fights where there's a guy running around the ring trying not to get hit. I mean, literally running around the octagon. So don't come over here on the boxing lane saying people are running. No, it's just good defense. It's good defense.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. This he performed a very defensive sound match. At the same time, he gave people what they wanted when he wanted to exchange, and then on top of that, he was just overall better than Canelo this fight. You know, he was overall better than Canelo. It's just the way it is. And like I said, like for anybody that's trying to take anything away from Canelo, you can't. Because Canelo's been holding up boxing for the last what? The last 10, 15 years? Like, how many years has Canelo been boxing in professionally?
Oh, don't get me lying to you, but he's been around for a while though. And here's what I'm gonna say about that. Canelo Canelo deserves his flowers too.
Mm-hmm.
Because let me tell you something. He had everything to lose in this fight with
Yeah.
Crawford. And he was not afraid to take that L if he could. This man then went up to lightweight and fought light heavyweight, I should say, and fought Dimitri Bivol twice and lost, right? But he took that chance. Canelo fought Triple G 3 times, although I believe he lost one of them. I believe he lost one of them, but he took that chance. He knew what he was getting into with Terrence Crawford, and he took that chance. Um, so all the flowers in the world go to Canelo because he didn't have to take this fight. Crawford called him out,
Mm-hmm.
and he accepted the challenge from Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
So all flowers in the world go to Canelo, and even Terrence Crawford said that all flowers go to Canelo because he didn't have to do this, and he did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he really didn't have to. Not to mention the money that was made in this fight was exceptionally when I say it, listen, the money that was made in this fight was exceptionally on point. Okay? Canelo came out of there robbing the bank. He lost the fight, but he still made more than the champion did. So at the end of the day, is he really a loser? He might have lost the belt, but he did not lose nothing out of his pockets. That's for
And,
sure.
and I will tell you, I don't know if you saw the pre-fight. They did a pre-fight show on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and Crawford said that he took the amount of money that he did. He let Canelo have the amount of money he did is because he wanted. Crawford said he wanted to prove people wrong, so he took 10 million while Canelo was getting like 120 million. He
Mm-hmm.
took the 10 million because he wanted to prove everybody wrong. That's how much he wanted this fight. Now, we know he's going to make more than 10 million because you also get the pay. you get a share of the pay-per-view buys and you get a share of the gate and all this other stuff. But the contract is 10. I believe it was 10 million. He said he agreed to that because he wanted to prove people wrong. This was a prove it match, is what he said.
There you have it. There you have it. He did what he said he was going to do. I mean, what can you really say about Crawford at this point? There's really nothing you could say. There's really nothing you could say. He done did it all. Now, question is, will he fight the Mexican monster? Will he fight him? That's the question. Will he fight the Mexican monster? Because I've watched this guy fight. The Mexican monster is definitely scary. He's a scary man. And that's a fight that people are now chiming about that could possibly happen. Now, Crawford definitely didn't say he was going to retire, but he definitely didn't say he was going to fight again neither. So, question is that does he come back and fight, Benavidez? Does he come back and fight Benavidez for one last fight before he actually retires? Or does he just ride into the sunset and, do what he do? You know what I mean? Like, he earned his stripes already. Does he really have to fight Benavidez? According to the fans, they're saying that he has to fight Benavidez. Me personally, I don't think he has to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if anybody wants to fight Benavidez, Canelo can fight Benavidez because that's a fight that people have been chiming about too. I
For
would like
years.
to for years, yeah. I would like to see Canelo and Benavidez fight. I definitely would like to see that because if Crawford retires, even though he takes home his belts, then the new belts come out. So now all those belts become vacant. So do we see Canelo and Benavidez fight for one of those belts? Do we see that, or do we see somebody else do it?
I think number one, I believe you're correct. I think people want to see Canelo and Benavidez. We don't necessarily need to see. Crawford has already proven what he needs to prove. We don't need to see Crawford and Benavidez. We want to see, and we've been asking for this, Canelo and Benavidez. Now, we know that Benavidez has also gone up in the weight class. So would he be willing to lose the weight to come back down to fight Crawford or Canelo? That is a question too. I think there's a chance that if he does fight again, I think Crawford goes one step down to capture another belt. And I can't remember who it was, but I think there's a chance of that. Or me personally, I think he's done. I think he's proven everything that he's needed to prove, and he can ride off into the sunset and take care of his 7 kids with the amount of money he's made. The dude ain't gonna be broke for the rest of his life. As far as Canelo, I would like to see him fight Benavidez, but I think you could tell that Canelo had lost a little bit of a step in this fight with Crawford. So will he go ahead and appease the fans and fight Benavidez, or is he going to call it a career too? I think there's a chance of that because both, like you said, and that came from both of them. They both didn't say they were going to fight again, but they both did say that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Crawford said he would have to sit down and talk with his team. Canelo said the same thing. So there's a chance that we could lose both two fighters off of one fight.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, both of them honestly don't have nothing to prove. Like they did it
At
all.
all.
They did it all. Canelo is a warrior's warrior. You know what I mean? He has that never die mentality. Like he doesn't listen, man. If Canelo comes back and fights again, it doesn't surprise me. If he doesn't fight anymore, it still doesn't surprise me because he done fought everybody. Has he fought Benavidez? No. Does he need to fight Benavidez? Not really. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez, though, needs to fight Canelo. That's just the way it is. He's the younger guy. He's the lion. He's the one that's hunting for prey. So he's the guy that needs to fight Canelo. Canelo don't need to fight him. He already done fought everybody. You know what I'm saying? What? I mean, he could fight Benavidez and it'd be like on a bucket list type of thing. Like, oh, all right, I fought him. You know what I'm saying? I got it out the way. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, he doesn't need to. It's the same thing with Crawford. Crawford don't need to fight none of them dudes. Like, he don't need to fight none of them. Like, he's done. And who's the guy that said he was supposed to fight? It was supposed to be him in there fighting Canelo, not Crawford. There was a guy that was like, I seen a highlight reel of a guy, I don't know his name, but he was chiming and saying that, yeah, that was supposed to be him versus Canelo, and Crawford just slipped in there. Who is that? You think you could look that up and see? Because I have no idea who that was.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that because, as far as I know, Turkey Al Sheikh is the one that got them to agree to the terms of the fight. I didn't know that there was supposed to be somebody else in there. But then again, I mean, people have been asking for Crawford to fight Boots Ennis, but Crawford dropped him belts so he could move up.
Yeah,
So
was it Boots then? Because if you look it up, right? Because I know Riot of the season, they're the ones that set up the fight. But what I'm saying is that I believe there was something else going on before Riot season got involved, and that's where this other guy comes in. Now I don't know the guy's name, like I never seen him before, but he said that he was supposed to fight Canelo before Crawford. Like he said it was supposed to be him in this match. So I don't know what's up with that or whatever. I don't know how true that is, but I did see a highlight with him saying that, you know. And people had videos on Facebook saying that, you know, Crawford would have washed him anyway. So I don't know if you might know who this individual is, because I certainly don't know for sure. Yeah.
well, I'm not finding anything on here. I'll have to dig more into it. But it's funny because I put in who was supposed to fight Canelo before Crawford, and apparently there was a deal in place for Canelo to fight Jake Paul before Canelo signed a multi-fight agreement with Riyadh season.
Mm.
And that's why now Jake Paul is fighting Tank Davis. But yeah, that's the only thing I'm really seeing was that Canelo was supposed to fight Jake Paul before he signed a deal with Riyadh season, and with Riyadh season is what brought the Crawford deal into place.
Okay. Well, I mean, not for nothing, man. I don't know the guy, you know, and I'm not familiar. Like I said, I'm not a boxing, you know, genius, or, you know, I know very little, the bare minimum. So I don't know the guy. He probably is really good, but I just don't know him. So that's why I was asking. As far as Jake Paul and Canelo, I feel Canelo would have knocked his head off.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
I also feel like he's over his head trying to fight Tank Davis, because I feel like Tank Davis is going to knock his head off too. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, it's a money grab. It's something to watch. But I also feel like it's a safer fight to fight Tank. It's not a safe fight to fight Canelo, because Canelo, whatever, I feel this is how I feel, and I could be wrong, and y'all could be mad at me, but this is how I feel, right? I feel like Jake Paul could possibly negotiate something with Tank Davis, but he can't do that same negotiation with Canelo because Canelo is a different mentality as far as a fighter. Now Tank, I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what made him want to accept this fight. Of course, I know there's money
I know
involved.
why.
Why?
He running from Roach. Roach beat him that last fight. Roach beat him that last fight, and they were supposed to fight again. But instead of signing the contract to fight Roach again, he signed a contract to fight Jake Paul. Because I think is that he doesn't want to go back down the Roach thing because he knows in his heart of heart that Roach beat him. So he's probably going in thinking that this is going to be an easy fight and also an easy payday to go fight Jake Paul.
All right, so for the people that don't know who Roach is, you know what I'm saying, like myself, can you explain real quick who the boxer Roach is?
Roach. Um, Let me see. So Lamont Roach
Okay.
is a boxer out of I want to say he's from Virginia.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Let me verify that before I keep going. But Tank Davis, he's from Washington D.C. So Tank Davis and Lamont Roach, they have history together fighting in the amateurs. Tank Davis beat him in the amateurs. So when Tank Davis was setting up his next fight, Lamont Roach's name came up, and I'm almost positive he signed the contract to fight Lamont Roach because he thought this is going to be like the amateurs where he was going to be able to beat him. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw the fight, but Lamont Roach put them hands on Tank Davis.
I gotta watch it now. I gotta
He put
watch
them
it.
hands on Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis got out of a knockdown because uh, he took a knee in the middle of the fight. He took a knee in the middle of the fight. That's supposed to be an automatic 8 count. He took a knee in the middle of the fight, got up, went to his corner so the corner can wipe hair grease out of his eye because he had just got his hair braided. He's supposed to have a standing 8 count. He didn't get that standing 8 count. That was supposed to be a knockdown. But so it ended up in a majority draw.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he would have gotten that knockdown, whether if it was because Tank Davis took the knee or because Lamont Roach hit him, either way, once your knee or any part of your body touches that canvas, that's an automatic 8 count. And they didn't get that to him. With that automatic 8 count, Lamont Roach wins that fight. And I personally thought that Lamont Roach won the fight without the 8 count. He was putting paws on Tank Davis. And that's why I feel like Tank went the Jake Paul route instead of the Lamont Roach route for a rematch. I think he's also avoiding some big matches himself. He could have easily refought Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia's been trying to get a rematch with him. Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is from Newark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you watch some stuff on Shakur Stevenson.
I
He's
mean, I
another
I know I
great.
know who Shakur Stevenson is. I just didn't know he was from Newark. So
Yeah, he's
wow.
from
Okay.
Newark. Yeah, he's from Newark. He on his trunks he has a big Newark sign right on the front of his trunks.
Okay.
But he's another damn good defensive boxer, and it's crazy because Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford train together.
Yeah, I seen that. I seen
Yeah,
that.
so he's avoiding some big fights on his own to the point to where Shakur Stevenson is going to go up a weight class, and he's now calling out Teofimo Lopez. So we also got that, but Lamont Roach put them paws on Tank Davis, and Tank Davis is not trying to run it back. and so Lamont Roach is having to fight somebody else, which I don't know who he's fighting yet. But yeah, it's a pretty sad thing because Tank Davis can't seem to stay out of trouble either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not going to talk about it because we all know about that. He can't seem to stay out of trouble. So I also think this is a money grab for Tank also.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a money grab. And, being as talented as Tank Davis, I definitely feel like he needs to get his life together and stay out of trouble so he can focus on his career. So I
You know who
definitely.
you know who he needs to be training with? The guy in the picture, Terrence Crawford. He needs to be training with him.
Mhm.
That's what I feel.
I
I
mean,
could be wrong.
like that wouldn't be a bad idea, but at the same time, too, like he was talking kind of spicy about Crawford too. Saying that Crawford was running, that it was a boring fight. It was far from boring, by the way, but I digress. But like, hey man, listen, y'all can say whatever y'all want, but that man got to the payday, he got to the bag, and he won the biggest fight of his career, and
Eight.
he can retire anytime he wants. You know what I'm saying? And he's undefeated. Before we go, right, I want to talk about this other fighter too because I have some interesting theories. Uh, the bull from China. You know who I'm talking about, Inoue.
In a
What
way, he's
Inoue?
He's Japanese.
Okay, my fault.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
apologize. So, okay. So, that guy is dangerous too. Do we see that guy fight Tank or anybody in the near future?
Well, he's gonna have to do what Crawford did. He's gonna have to want to move up in weight classes and take on those challenges. There are
Mm-hmm.
people out there that want to see him fight Lomachenko. They want to see him fight Tank Davis. They want to see him fight Shakur Stevenson. Get out of these smaller weight classes and go up to a bigger weight classes. Okay, we've seen you put hands on all these small guys. Now I think it's time, just like with Crawford. We done seen him put hands on all these small guys. Now it's time to take it up a notch and see what you got in the bigger weight classes. Can you handle the hits from the bigger fighters like a Tank Davis or like a
Mm-hmm.
Shakur Stevenson or like a Lomachenko? You know, we won't know until he makes that choice to want to move up in weight. Also, I know he did it earlier in his career, but lately he hasn't been doing it. I want to see him fight outside of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see him fight when he's not getting, those homemade meals at home and stuff like that. Come to Vegas and fight. Let's see what you got in Vegas, away from home. Like a lot of these other fighters, like Crawford's from Omaha, Nebraska, Canelo's from Mexico, and they met up in Las Vegas. Let's see what you do outside of the hometown. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just came to mind because like I've watched him fight a few times and he's extremely good.
Oh
But
yeah.
I just wanted to see like what he could do against these other fighters because these other guys. I'm not saying the guys that he fought are not battle tested, but these are the mainstream guys that can put him on the map for real. Like if he's able to hang with those dudes and actually put a dent in them, put them down, have a good fight or whatever, these are the guys that'll put him on the map for real. Because there's still a lot of people who don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? And there's still people that thinking he's not fighting nobody that's really interesting too. The same thing they were saying with Crawford. But the difference is with Crawford was that Crawford didn't want to fight these. He wanted the harder fights. Now I don't know Inoue's situation. I don't know if he wants the harder fights or not. I don't know. So I'm not even gonna pretend like I do know. But I do know, and Crawford has said it, that he wanted the bigger fights. He wanted the challenges because he knew how good he was. But for some reason, they wasn't giving it to him. They wasn't giving him the fights.
And here's the thing, and they knew that Crawford was too good. That's part of the reason why they wasn't giving him them fights.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he did get these good fights, like Errol Spence, Sean Porter, Kell Brook, Jose Benavidez Jr., David Benavidez's brother, he knocked him
Oh,
out too. Jose Benavidez
wow.
knocked him out with a clean uppercut. Oh, it was a clean uppercut. But bro, I'll tell you,
Yo, that face you made, that face you made just said it all, yo. He's like, oh, yo.
it was a clean uppercut. Basically, what I'm saying is, when they were giving Crawford these good fights,
Mm-hmm.
they're trying to downplay these good fights. People before he fought Canelo, people were saying, "Well, Errol Spence wasn't this and wasn't that." Like Errol Spence was a champion, just like Crawford was.
Mm-hmm.
That fight was a unification fight.
Mm-hmm.
So why are you trying to take credit away from Spence and away from Crawford, trying to make Canelo look good? Canelo has his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they also don't want to give Crawford credit too.
Mm-hmm.
So people was like, "Oh, he fought Sean Porter while he's on his way out. He knocked out Sean Porter too. Errol Spence didn't do that."
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Now they're trying to say that he's running, and they're trying to say his. I don't listen to them people, because them people 9 times out of 10 they're more MMA fans over boxing fans and don't know what they're talking about. And this is why. And I will say this real quick before we hang it up. And this is why MMA fighters don't do well in boxing. They don't. We've seen it. We've seen Tyron Woodley get knocked out twice by Jake Paul. We
Yep.
saw an old man, Anderson Silva, get knocked out by Jake Paul. We seen Ben Askren face down. We saw Conor McGregor face down. There's a reason why boxing is different than MMA. Y'all, MMA has 5-minute rounds. Boxing, 12 3-minute rounds.
And not for nothing neither too, like in MMA you get to use, your hands and your legs. And boxing is more, I feel like more of a technical, more of a technical, cerebral strategy type of thing. Because although you use your legs, you can't kick nobody, but you have to move around. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have to have stamina. You have to have endurance. Now, you do have to have endurance and stamina for the other sport, too. But this is more like boxing is more of a grueling longevity type of thing. Like, you got, like, for 12 rounds in a championship fight, like, who could ever imagine? Like, you got outlast. Like, just think of what the guys back in the day, they used to do like close to 20.
15. They did 15 rounds.
Exactly. So it's like, just think about that for a second. And I'm not taking nothing away from MMA because I love MMA, but I'm just saying, like, when you try to compare the two, like, one uses all the elements and one uses only one element, but the difference is the other element that it does use is not really about your hands or your legs, it's about your mind. You know what I'm saying? It's about your mental toughness. Now, don't get me wrong, you gotta have mental toughness with MMA fighting. You definitely gotta have mental toughness. But if I know my hands is not as clean as the other person and I'm trying to dodge punches and I can't I can't roll around. You know what I'm saying? My only way of survival is my fist. That's kind of hard.
Long
Yeah,
night.
that's kind of hard to come by. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I get it.
And I'll say this real quick. To Ilya Tapora, stay away from Terrence Crawford in a boxing ring. There is a difference between striking in the UFC and boxing. And you, my friend, are not a boxer. Stay in the UFC. Stay in your lane. Don't come over here because I promise you, you go into a boxing ring with Terrence Crawford, I guarantee you he beats you, and it won't even be hard.
So wait a minute, he challenged Terrence Crawford to a fight.
Oh, they've been going that back and forth. Terrence Crawford didn't claim that he don't even know who the dude is, but
Wow.
Ilya Tapora done tried to get him to accept a fight in the boxing ring, and Terrence Crawford's like, bro, what? And even some MMA people's like, no, do not step in a boxing ring with Terrence Crawford. No, you're going to embarrass yourself.
Mm.
Now, if it was an MMA fight, okay, Crawford, do not step in there with Ilya Tapora. But that's not what they're talking about. Ilya Tapora wants to go in a boxing match with Terrence Crawford. Like,
Now Terrence Crawford is not crazy. Like he will never step into an MMA ring. You know what I'm saying? That's not his thing.
absolutely.
That's not his thing, you know. Although I do feel because of his athleticism and his durability, I do feel he'll be a pretty good MMA fighter. He'll be a dope striker, dope defensive specialist, and his leg movement is pretty good. Like moving around the ring, like he's really good at that. Now, as far as his wrestling, that's gonna be
That's what I was going to say. There are rumors going around that he is actually a pretty damn good wrestler.
yeah.
Yeah. Shakur Stevenson, who we were talking about earlier, who trains with Terrence Crawford, said that part of his training is wrestling. He gets a wrestling coach in and he wrestles.
You see, this is why I said Crawford is a different type of animal. This guy's different, man. He's different. Like you're not gonna find nobody like Terrence Crawford. He's different. Now. Let me ask this just before we go, right? Why do you think he would need to wrestle? What does that have to do with boxing? You know what I'm
Stamina.
saying? There you go.
Stamina, endurance.
There you go.
I've seen some of these wrestlers, and these dudes go at it in 120-degree gyms. They turn the AC off, turn heaters on. They wearing sweatpants and sweatshirts, and they're just going after it. I
There
mean,
you go.
so stamina, endurance. Like if you can wrestle, if you can get through a wrestling practice, you're doing pretty good for yourself.
There you go. There you go. Enough said. Enough said. So, getting back to what I said before, we definitely are going to be covering, some boxing, and the lead panelists will be the dynamic one. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I do feel we should cover some UFC depending on the matches and things like that. But I could do this boxing thing. It's not like I never covered boxing before. I have me and my people's funeral, man. We had this thing called Combat Convo, and we used to cover boxing and MMA, and we did wrestling too. Um, so like, and I actually would like to bring him on the show. He's a you could pick his brain with some boxing. He knows boxing for sure. He taught me what I know because I definitely didn't. I knew the bare minimum. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, we definitely gonna be doing this, folks. It was fun talking about this. Seeing these two icons do their numbers. It was a great fight. It was a great fight. So,
Boxing is my go-to. I
mhm.
love boxing. Um, UFC, MMA is his avenue. Boxing is my avenue. We've also discussed talking about NFL football when it comes more along the lines of like playoffs and the Super Bowl, not just every week games that we're going to see on Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays. We've talked about covering some college football. Again, that's going to be more towards like the national championship or the playoffs.
Mhm.
We've discussed talking NBA again. It's going to be more like the playoffs and the NBA finals. He a Laker fan. I'm a Maverick fan. So yeah, we're going to be expanding a little bit, but we know our core audience is here for the professional wrestling. But yes, we will be expanding a little bit. But before we close it out, I would like to say shout out to Canelo, shout out to Crawford. Both of y'all did y'all's things. Both of y'all came in knowing what you had to win, knowing what you had to lose by taking on this match. You guys both went in there and fought your hearts out. And even if you never see this, I would say I appreciate it. I appreciate being able to watch both you guys in the ring throughout your career. If this is it, then hey, both you guys had great careers. If we see you one more, hey, that's just more smile on my face. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, we had a great fight last Saturday, and if we don't see you again, Hall of Famers. If we do see you again, can't wait.
Yeah, that was a terrific fight. It gave everybody what they wanted. Like, I don't see why there should be any complaints about what was displayed. You know, I don't see what should be any complaints. So with that being said, it's your boy, the Insightful One, S. Got Bars Wrestling Media, and the dynamic one, Darkling Salute, Dub. We'll be back with another one, Ring Ropes and Turnbuckle Podcast.
Following podcast scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, they are the Internet Podcast.